Hi, hello, I'm Ruth, and today I have two stories to share with you in the theme of sea creatures, specifically otters. So, the first book is Otter and Otter, and then the second book we're going to be talking about today is also called Otter, both names spelled with a D. So, I'll talk about this book first. Look at the freaking cover. So cute. And like, how do you say no to these eyes, puppy eyes that are looking at you? I think that sea lions and otters, they're like the puppies of the ocean, or in some cases, there are river otters. But, anyways, how can you say no? So cute. I can't say that enough. And also, please don't mind the sticky notes here. I borrowed these two books from the library, and so I kind of just wanted to cover up the barcodes. So first thing about this book here, uh, it reminds me of like look watching like an Animal Planet or like animal type documentary. And so I'll insert a clip here of me reading a quote from the book and then kind of just overlaying it with some otter images. Still, it's hard, if you're an ocean resident, not to resent otters. Their easy popularity, the way they woo the crowds, they are, it's been said, the champions of cute. Those eyes like a doe's, the expressive whiskers, the gold medal aquatic gymnastics, and being photogenic does help with memes, with keeping the fans engaged. Only the foolish wants selfies with a shark. Right? Right? Doesn't it sound like you are watching, or when I read this quote, that you're kind of in a documentary watching otters? I mean, obviously, I can't do a British accent, so I didn't even try. But can you imagine like a nice, relaxing, like British accent reading the book to you? So that's one thing that this book reminds me of. The way that it's written also is very stanza-like, or very short paragraphs, which is an interesting way for an author to describe scenes and things like that in the book. So I like this. It's a different way of reading. There's also some pictures with cute drawings as well. Very well done drawings. Very simple, but it's a very powerful message in my opinion. um, Random thought, because we're talking about animal documentaries. I forgot where I watched this from, but it was when they were filming these walruses and they were climbing up these jagged rocks, and it's not just like a foot high. It's like a really tall cliff. I don't know how they got themselves up there, but some of them, unfortunately, didn't make it, and so they would fall, and then they'd get really hurt or potentially die because of falling off a huge cliff, jagged edge cliff. And so that was very traumatizing to me. I don't know why, reading this book kind of reminded me of that not so pleasant scene and traumatic scene of walruses falling off a cliff. So if some of you know what that show is, please let me know, or if you've also watched it or remember what I'm talking about. But anyways, so another thing I like about this book is the way it's written. So not only is it written so it feels like you're in watching a documentary, but you also kind of get the perspective of the otter themselves and what they think of humans, and what they have to do to survive. So I like that different perspective that the author provides the readers. And look how thin it is. So it's so easy to finish. Even if you're a slow reader, and that's okay. If you want to take your time reading this book. To me, I don't. This book did generate a couple emotions. Sadness, happiness, but just overall, like, this book is cute, in my opinion. I keep saying cute, but it is. This book is very cute. So I'm very pleased with reading this book. I would give this a 4 stars. Again, just the way it's written, I thought it was very a unique way of showing the perspective of a animal character and their thought process, but it's still not cartoony. You know how the way it's written, I feel like it's it's just how the otter should be thinking. That's how I think of it. I don't think of it as very childish or anything. It's like, oh yes, that's how otters think in the wild. So accurate in my opinion too, because I also feel like you're learning a little bit about otters, their behaviors, what they're like in the wild. So it was also very educational in my opinion. So yes, would definitely recommend you read this book. Love it, love it, love it. So the next one here, Otter and Otter. So this one, I'm guess it's a children's book, but also an adult book. If you'd like adult book, as in any age can read this book. But this is about a love story. So it's an unlikely love pair. And I don't want to give away too much because it is, not a long book and it's a picture book. But yeah, essentially it's a story about love and how an unlikely pair falls in love with each other. I don't know how I feel about that, especially because this is a children's book. Will they really understand that concept? I'm kind of 50-50 with the drawing. I mean, it reminds me of like how a kid would draw. I love this because this is how I used to draw fishes as well. But anyways, yes. So, it's very childish drawings, which reminds me of that. But I don't know. The message to me, I couldn't shake it off. I felt like, and again, I don't know if this is like the intention of the author doing this, or maybe I'm reading into it too much, but I personally thought that there was a lot of little um, adult messages, adult themes in this book that may not be appropriate for children. But again, I may be reading into it, but that's just my opinion there. So I actually thought this book was okay. I would give this book a 1 star. And that wraps up my thoughts. So please let me know your thoughts. Did you like any of these books? Did you have a favorite character? Maybe you didn't have a favorite character and maybe you didn't like these books. Please let me know. Your likes, shares, and comments really help me a lot. So thank you again for tuning in. Like always, happy reading. Don't forget to subscribe.